Aw, dude.
He makes him really relatable, I think.
Yeah, he makes us laugh. That's awesome.
Well, for me, it is. I just like how Kenny's messages, like they hit deep with me, and I can really understand like what he's talking about at a personal level, and they just offer hope and just hope for what's to come in the future.
Well, I think his series are very understandable. They can be funny at parts. And they're really interesting.
The people are amazing, but we always go over time. And we almost never get to the
good have
subject.
rabbit trails. Yeah. You get to know them really well. You get to know them personally.
What's your favorite part of youth group?
Oh.
Well, one of my favorite memorable parts was last summer we went on the leader treks. That was fun.
Yeah.
We had a lot of good times. Swimming in
Yep.
waterfalls.
Ben forgot all of his shirt.
That was a good one.
So he had one shirt for the entire week.
Oh. Yep.
And Kyle punched me in the face. It was, we went to go dump out our food out in the woods at night, and I hid behind the tree, and I jumped on the tree and just right in the face.
I definitely have to say, I think Doomsday.
Yeah.
If I learned one thing from Doomsday, it's don't run down the hill really fast, otherwise you look like a lizard. The way you run, it's crazy.
We're really
Don't run down really fast. Yeah. What about you?
I would say Doomsday as well.
I was gonna say the snacks. Those are pretty fun.
Snacks are fun.
Hang out with everyone.
My favorite one was at the Vandagucci's.
Yeah, that one was really
That
fun.
was really awesome.
Playing that
The
game.
trampoline in the
What was
back.
I like to stand in the balcony because it gives you a feeling of omniscience.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
My freshman year, I went on the New York trip, and that was really cool. I was sick most of the week, but it was super good. It stretched my faith a lot, and I got to meet cool people, so that was by far my favorite trip.
My favorite was the fall retreat because I haven't been going to SG that long, so there's a lot of events that it was really hard to choose one. But the fall retreat, I met a lot of cool people, including her, and so I just grew really close to certain people, and
But let's talk about the fall retreat though. Okay. Because that was
wasn't
awesome.
on the fall retreat.
Oh yeah.
Mark broke himself. I broke myself. Yeah, that happened. Just the moral of the story: if Micah ever says do parkour, don't do parkour.
For me, it was definitely when we played games. That was the best, especially the human archery. Not because you got to hit other people.
Yeah,
but
sure, Frank. Loves hitting people.
But that it was it kind of helped you with teamwork and stuff like that. And it was just lots of fun to play, and I wanted to keep playing, but we didn't.
My favorite was probably the fish. I really like my fish a lot. His name was Sebastian, and Cherie's fish named Cinco. They were like best buddies. Unfortunately, at the end of the week, they had a sudden death. And but anyway, it was really fun because I kind of was super protective of my fish, and there was a little bit of an incident where a certain someone was washing her fish because she thought that she needed to wash it in order for it to be clean. But anyway, so it was just all kind of fun because it kind of brought the teams together with because there were certain times you had to trade off the fish to somebody that hadn't had it in a while. So you really had to trust your other teammates because if you got the fish taken away, you lost a lot of points.
I kind of liked the singing before chapel, and I also really enjoyed small group time after the message because it really helped us extend and share our thoughts about it so that we could help ourselves relate to what was said. I really liked his sermon series that he picked out because I guess I didn't really think about all of that. And I believed it, and it was really nice to have him tell me why that's not true. And it was also really nice to like hear that other people struggle with like the same stuff, and so like I'm not alone.
Also at the end there was a lot of really cool testimonies from like people that I wouldn't have expected to get up there. They went up there and they told their story, and it was just really cool to see like everybody was just really changed by the weekend and impacted, so that was really cool. And I was crying a little bit because it was really awesome to see all the different people telling how they felt about the weekend.
It's been really cool. I've been given the opportunity to teach twice in SG now, 3 times. And it's been really cool to be able to serve in that capacity. That's not normal. You don't see that all the time. It's been great to be able to serve like that, and that's something that I really think is going to benefit me going forward. And it's been great to be part of SG as a student, be in it, and then occasionally be able to step up and do that. It's been a great experience.
I switched schools this year, so it was really difficult for me to get to know people easily, and I'm not a very social person, so I don't like going into situations where I don't know people, but youth group has shown me that I have a community here and I can learn to trust God in other situations.
For me, it's definitely being part of the worship team. I have been able to worship God in maybe situations that are uncomfortable to me in front of my friends, and that's not something that I necessarily like to do. And I've been able to grow closer to Him because I've been able to be in those type of situations where I'm worshiping more upfront and just doing what I'm not comfortable with.
Part of SG that has impacted me the most has been the missions trips, and especially the ones to South Dakota. I formed a really good bond with Aaron while we were there, and it was just really cool. Through that, Cammy had kind of like come up to me, and he like gave me these like leadership roles. He like told me one morning, he's like, oh, would you be interested in teaching the blowout kids, which are like the youngest kids, doing like a little like lesson with them? And I've never done something like that before. And I was like, oh, probably not. And so I was like really nervous and stuff. And he's like, oh, well, you're gonna do it anyways. And so it was like kind of like a forced leadership, because what I like didn't know then was like he saw like a leadership in me that I didn't really understand myself. Because I always kind of thought about leaders being like the male role leaders, like our pastor and like my dad as an elder and stuff like that. I didn't really see like I got to know like different like women leaders. Like I got really close to Sarah Lang, and she was like a huge like person in my life, and I met her through SG. So like I would say learning to be a leader through the mission trips and the relationships I made.
I would say being on SGLT has been huge for me this year. I've had the opportunity to lead praise, and being in that role, it's been really stressful trying to communicate with everyone and get practices going, and I've had to kind of wrestle through what is praise and what is a worship, and how do those work together. So I've had lots of good discussions, and it's just been really cool to wrestle through that and search the scriptures. So being in a leadership role has really helped me to grow in my faith because I'm in the Word more.
Well, I joined SGLT after the Leader Treks trip that we took over the summer, and through that trip and then through going into SGLT, I learned big time how to step out of my comfort zone and lead in ways that I didn't necessarily know how to or didn't like to. And I took a big role on the praise team. Being up there every Wednesday is not always an easy thing to do. It's not always a fun thing to do, but it's definitely worth it. Just do it all for the glory of God. So I've learned to put Him first in thinking through things that I am asked to do, and make myself less.
I think one thing that being on SGLT has taught me is that being in a group can make things difficult, but also it makes it a lot easier in some ways because we can collaborate, and it just gives us great ideas, and it just brings all our ideas together, and we can show that, and I think we've just done a great job this year, and I'm excited for what's to come.
Yeah, it's been a really good experience. I've only been doing it for a couple months now, and I'm kind of a natural leader, and I naturally like to take charge, but it's been really good to be in a group and lead together, and it's really challenged me, and I think I've grown, and I've loved praying together for all the students, and that's just been really neat.
Yeah. So the biggest thing I probably learned this year within the leadership team is how vital it is to your service to not lose sight of why you're doing it and who you're doing it for, which obviously we're doing it to serve God and bring Him glory, but you can really easily lose focus and start to do it for your own gain and for just doing it because you feel like you have to, and that really puts out your fire. And I actually halfway through the year experienced that for like 2 weeks where I kind of just felt like, why am I doing it? It's a chore. But I really prayed about it, and I kept reading the Bible, and I felt that fire kind of come back and realized that I'm doing it to serve God, and you can't lose sight of that.
My mom's here, so I'll be out in a sec.
A sec plus 30 minutes.
I'm going to tell a story about a friend that I had. And the really interesting thing about this friend is that some really awkward statement causes youth group laughs / looks down and embarrassment. And then I go on with the story, and it still happens, and then I make a joke that only Kyle laughs at. And then I make another one that makes Nick laugh, and and then I'm gonna wrap it all up with this joke that will make everyone laugh, but Andrew will laugh the loudest. And that's interesting because I'm gonna tie it back to my entire sermon and look back at my notes because I forgot what I was gonna say.
Ooh, there's a sheep.
That's. I don't think the camera can see that. What's there?
Deep in thought at the computer, right?
I sent you the flavor.
Twist the ends of my mustache. Everyone laughs at me, but I still don't look away.
I'm sorry, wait, what were you saying? Oh yeah, that's a really good point. I think we could branch out a few different ways from that. Tell me, what are your thoughts? What do you think? What do you think on that? Yeah, actually, dude, I think it's a great idea. You should totally go for it. Let's do it. A little awkward. What do you do?
Do I need to say my name and that kind of stuff?
You can if you want.
Look at that.
So, just different points that really great. We have this point over here. Really great. Really excited about this point. But then there's also this one over here. I'm really excited about this one.
Amore this year, I'm gonna be in the play, and everything about it's super cool. So that's exciting.